Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 6 of season 2 of the F124 driver career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Miami Grand Prix. Of course, we had a sprint race yesterday. We got a sprint race today as well. It's double sprint race mayhem early on in this season. If you missed the race from Shanghai, go back, check it out. It was a rather interesting one. Safe to say Oscar Piastri is my new great rival in this series. But of course, yeah, as we head to Miami this weekend, of course, our first race back in the US. Obviously, Nico Hülkenberg last season here was able to score his only 2 points so far we've seen in this game, which is a little bit of a shame. But, you know, we're going to only hope that he can repeat that feat this weekend as well. There, of course, if you're new around here, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel as well. We're trying to hit 130,000 subs at the moment. You can see we've got our recognition are back tied with Nico as we head into this weekend. We're now 80 rated inside this game as well. So apparently we are about on par with Zhou Guanyu, which I guess is good. I don't know how I've got more experience than him because I've done less races, but there we are. We'll ignore that as best as possible. We've also overtaken now Aston Martin, so have Alpine. So performance-wise, we're doing pretty much as well as we could expect to be at this point of the season. Championship-wise, Verstappen still leads the way, 27 clear of his teammate Sergio Perez. We are still P6, they're ahead of Tsunoda and 1 point back behind Oscar Piastri. And it was another internal combustion engine that went bang last weekend. So we've already gone through half our supply for the year inside 5 Grand Prix. We're going to be taking some grid penalties at some point down the line. But yeah, let's get into the weekend.
It is driver versus stopwatch. It is a venue that is new to Formula One in recent years, but you have to dance the car to the edge. It is Miami, it is qualifying. Who will take the pole?
Well, we've been on a real tear in qualifying sessions recently. Have made it into Q3 ever since Albert Park, Australia, and hoping that can continue this weekend, but I'll be honest, not feeling so confident about the car's ability around this Miami circuit, especially down at this first corner. So as we head into Q1, again, as always, going to try and follow the real-life tyre rules as best as we can. P13. That's not a good way to start. Great, love that, thanks. Which Red Bull was that? Oh my.
That looked bad, are you alright? Let me know you're okay.
That was not the way I wanted to start the weekend. I think we've been collected by Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. The first one, I mean, we've stopped, and Verstappen just crashes into me. The second one, oh no, sorry, it was a kick Sauber. That was my fault. And as soon as I've said we've had a good run of qualifying, we're out of it. I guess I said in the intro how we might want to take some grid penalties at some point. Today might be the time to do it, but obviously we won't take him in the sprint. So I don't really know. We've just got to get on with it. Obviously, for any of you that have been around here long enough, you'll know that I don't use rewinds unless I showcase them. So if we make a silly mistake like that, it gets left in the edit. And occasionally, or quite often, I bottle it.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 3.36 miles of track around Hard Rock Stadium, and 19 corners make up the Miami International Autodrome, which will challenge the drivers in a tight wheel-to-wheel race. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Stroll, Hamilton, Gasly, Sainz, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Albon, Zhou, Sargent, and Mr. Monaco. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We will soon find out. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. So, a sprint race today, and that means lights to flag, no stops. And how is that going to affect the driver behind the wheel?
Absolutely. So for today, there's no pit stop, or shouldn't be a pit stop anyway, if things go right, and you can forget about strategy. You're just driving today as fast as you can, make those overtakes if you need to, and that's what a sprint weekend's all about.
Well, here we are then, trackside, ready for the Miami Grand Prix. I might have jinxed myself in sprint qualifying, but as we head into the sprint race, though, it is sunny skies, meant to be that way all weekend. So fingers crossed we can try and have a good recovery drive here. Not convinced we're going to be able to score points, but we'll give it our best go nonetheless. We've got the local boy, Logan Sargent, lining up alongside me as we wait on those 5 red lights. It's going to be lights out, and away we go, trying not to get too much wheel spin as Sargent immediately is going to cover me off in towards that first corner. Get plenty of contact a little way up the road. I'm struggling. I don't know why I'm struggling so much with the throttle this weekend, but clearly I am there as somehow Sargent avoids me through the first corners. But yeah, getting way too heavy on the throttle here, and well, I clearly just need to refocus, regroup, and focus on the job in hand for the rest of the weekend there, as it looks like it's still a Red Bull 1-2 at the front of the field. They've been able to bring one of the Ferraris with them. Of course, the other problem we've had, where I wasn't really able to compete in qualifying, we don't quite know where the car is weak and where it might have a bit of an advantage around this venue. I would guess we're going to struggle down the straights, and probably gain it all back up in the corners there as we close back in on the rest of the field. And now on lap 1, I mean, just through here, you absolutely crawl through. Have a look down the inside of Sargent if I dare. Yeah, no chance that was going to happen, although we will switch him on the exit as he tried to launch it over the curbs. Around the outside we'll go. One of the weirdest moves I think I'll ever make on the F1 game, but we did it. Come on then, we've definitely got the grip through the S's, so just like we've seen on most races so far this year, we've run a little bit more downforce than the AI.
Lots of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button.
It does just mean, yeah, we have to be really, really careful with our battery management as we go down the straights. But of course, yeah, DRS already enabled. Here is, are we going to see Zhou Guanyu try to have a look back around my outside? Look at the speed of that kick Sauber car. Absolute missile. But he hasn't got enough confidence to go the long way around on the brakes. So we got yellows out. Oh, I think Zhou's spam. Love that for Zhou Guanyu. He stopped only, obviously, Logan Sargent because he was the only other car behind him who will net get round him. He's still just stuck there. How is this not a safety car? And I don't know why we've got such an advantage through this section of corners. There was Hulkenberg not able to make an impact on Magnussen. I mean, we're still able to make the moves happen here early on as Sargent is already nearly 10 seconds behind. Zhou Guanyu, I think the gap is up at about 25 seconds as Albon's going to get the top speed on me. But not enough as we make our way into the braking zone. We seem to have just about enough straight line speed this year that we can defend the AI into that corner. I do really wish the AI on this game would use sort of more dynamic setups to suit their own cars. You know, I think it's a good addition that, for example, Williams are very good at Monza and that kind of thing, as that was a worldie of a move around our teammate. But it would be kind of nice to see, you know, some cars be really, really strong and kind of go for those high downforce setups. You know, potentially take the car the wrong way even one weekend. And obviously other teams just focus on straight line speed, so they got no cornering performance. Just, you know, provide a little bit more interest and intrigue into the game. I feel like these games still have so much potential, but just those little things desperately need ironing out. Oh, Magnussen, okay. Magnussen's going to lock up down the end of the back straight then. I wasn't actually expecting that to happen. We've gained another. Well, I seem to get a really odd glitch in this game still that coders desperately need to sort out. 9 times out of 10, my force feedback is absolutely fine. And then I'll just get one race occasionally where you'll see it. It's literally trying to shake my hands off the wheel. I haven't changed any settings. I haven't modified anything. You know, I've played the game previously and it was absolutely fine. It just suddenly then seems to be really extreme.
Use overtake, use overtake.
You know, completely spiking and things like that all over the show. So we've got yellows out. I believe that's Alpine breaking down. That might create a little bit of chaos and get us in the range of these group in front. Don't say it's Esteban Ocon again. We're waiting to see who it is. Yep, Esteban Ocon. Another mechanical issue for him.
Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
P14 now for us. But yeah, it's either Lando, Norris, Esteban Ocon, or myself. Well, I'll be honest, I'm quite impressed with the amount of pace we have had today. It's 220 miles an hour down the back, straight down the inside of Gasly there as we locked up the rears, we locked up the fronts, but we got it stopped.
Nice move. Good job.
That was a little bit scary, to be completely honest, but 3 laps to go. We're almost back to the top 10 here. I would take a position a lap, which is basically what we've averaged. Oh, Danny Brick saving battery. We don't often see moves down this straight for me. Certainly going to try it now if we can. Down the inside of the Australian will go. And another one completed. They're up at a P12. I mean, I think it would be optimistic to score points in this sprint. Yuki Tsunoda is in that 8th place at the moment. As, we're trying to look down the inside of Lewis if we can. I mean, we've just got to take the opportunities, haven't we? It is a sprint race after all. Let's go side by side there with Lewis. You can see he gains on every single upshift, so not sure quite how that works. Clearly got a better gearbox in that Mercedes than we've got in this Haas. So much top end speed. Though as Lewis, he wants to cover me off. I'm not having that. Yeah, nice try, Sunshine. Up into 11th we go then. We really seem to have found our stride late on in this sprint race. Again, we'll try and take another one. The AI seem reluctant to defend that position there. I'm just staggered. Honestly, we're able to make that work, to be honest, as we'll move ourselves up then. Oh, we got more yellows. I think that's a Red Bull. Is that Max Verstappen or is that Sergio Perez breaking down late on in the day? It's definitely a Red Bull car, as Ricardo wanted to send it. Oh, I see contact as well. Who is that out of the sprint race? It's Verstappen. Verstappen, another mechanical issue on this game.
They're retiring from the race.
And the second driver to retire from the sprint race, so he'll be taking some grid penalties for the Greek Grand Prix.
Let's go. Final lap.
And that gives, you know, the likes of Perez, the McLarens, the Mercs, the Ferraris, everybody an opportunity to try and take some big points out of him in the championship, especially tomorrow. But could we suddenly now, from the back of the grid, score a point in this sprint race down the inside of Sir Lance? We're up into 8th place. And this is going to be one of the wildest sprints I've ever had on this game. As recovery drives go, I'm pretty happy with this one. Alonso and Sergio Perez now going side by side through this middle sector, so this gives us a really good opportunity to try and close in even more. Perez has actually started this one on the softs as 3rd time's the charm. Down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda, our big rival will go, and that is a power move to remind Ferrari of just what they could have in the not too distant future. We have had the pace this weekend as Russell trying to save up battery as well towards the end of this one. Could we get close enough to the Merc? I think we'll give George the place back on that one. That was probably a little bit too extreme there. Russell getting the elbows out as well, trying to sideswipe me up towards the line. It's P7 in the sprint though. That was a proper sprint race. Here we go then. Oscar Piastri takes sprint race glory here in Miami. Another big haul of points for him there ahead of Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. Alonso in P4. Not really sure what Red Bull were thinking, trying to start Perez on a set of the soft compound tyres. Maybe they were trying to throw him under the bus there, but we come through for P7 from last on the grid. 13 places gained inside 10 laps. I think we've actually got some decent pace around here, so we need to try to showcase that in real qualifying. Well, this time round then, as we head into qualifying, we want to make sure we actually get a lap on the board without spinning out the car this time. I think we've showcased in that sprint that, yeah, we've actually got a very, very competitive package here, and well, already happy. I believe those might be... No, they're definitely not the first points we've ever scored in America. Obviously, we bottled that podium last year at Cotas. Why am I getting so much oversteer through that curb? I know it's quite a big curb, but I've never really had many problems with it inside this game. I never quite know just how much you can try and attack the car through this section of the lap. Oh, we tip it over the curb, so we actually get up on 2 wheels. Sure, that's a good shot for the cameraman on the outside of that corner. It felt like it was like a kite then, up on its side. But as we make our way out into the back straight, only 4/10 up on Kevin Magnussen at the moment. Of course, we want to see ourselves into Q3 ideally. We'll have to wait and see what the 1-lap pace is really like in the car. It's not been a flawless lap there, as Hulkenberg just up in front battling it out with one of the V carbs to get back to the pit lane. Hulkenberg only in P18, and we're about to relegate him into P19 as we only go 13th ourselves. We found a load of time making our way through the middle sector, but I'm not sure I could emulate the line we did every single time through. Just trying to get the car rotated into the hairpin, really struggling with the understeer there, and a nice bit of oversteer to balance it out on the exit of the corner as well. Up to the line, 3.5 tenths up. It's P12 at the end of Q1. I don't think one lap we've got out and out pace here. Well, there we go. Max Verstappen 4 tenths clear of anybody else as we find ourselves in an Alpine sandwich. VCarb have some good pace as well. It is your usual suspects out in Q1. But yeah, I'm not convinced we're going to see Q3. Well, we've only got one set of tyres then as we head back out in Q2. So this is kind of a one run and we're done session. Everybody else trying to finish their lap. So hopefully we're not going to end up with too much traffic as we start ours. We've left it incredibly tight, 11 seconds on the clock by the time we get back round to the start-finish line. But yeah, unless I can match that time we did at the end of Q2, we are going to end up last here on the grid. And of course, just don't quite want to, don't have that confidence. Really don't want to mess up this lap time right at the end of the session as we flick the car in 7th gear through the first part of the S's. Oh, just see though, the car not where I need it at the moment. On Daniel Ricciardo, you got to make sure you get out of my way, buddy. I feel like, yeah, he's definitely going to hold me up, isn't he? You can already tell that's what he's going to do. No? Okay. AI on this game, maybe not as bad. Well, as again, we'll get up on 2 wheels. So I was expecting, I'd love a slipstream here, Pierre Gasly. Maybe knock you out with a slipstream. 7 tenths up on Ricciardo. Where on earth is this lap time coming from? I think we're going to lose a fair chunk of time down in the final sector of the lap. But we are definitely getting a slipstream from Pierre Gasly then. So it'd be a lovely surprise to make it into Q3. So a little bit of unsteer. We slapped the wall on the exit though. Not ideal. As we power up towards the start-finish line. Will it be enough to see us through? Yes, it is. It's P10. Thank you, Pierre Gasly. Well, there we go then. We are down in 10th place, but we are through by 0.5 tenth of a second. Thanks to the man that gave me the slipstream. Pierre Gasly, your service has been noted. And I will make sure that I race you with a bit more respect as we head into the Grand Prix there. But yeah, I don't see a world in which we go higher than 10th. Well, as the sun then really beginning to set here in Miami, the crowd still full with people watching as the one Haas-car, the American dream here, makes its way onto its final qualifying lap. We've got an Aston Martin just in front. But I mean, yeah, we're just going to put it all on the line with this final run of the weekend there. It'd be real anger. Want to try and give the home crowd something to smile about, something to cheer. A bit like we did, obviously, throughout the entire of the sprint race as well. We're trying to give the fans value for their money. Something Silverstone clearly isn't aware of what to do still in Formula 1. We've got one Aston Martin there of Alonso a little way in front. Will the wily old fox spot me behind? Hopefully he will. It's more about where you catch up with the AI rather than kind of what they're going to do, to be completely honest. So, just a little bit of understeer there, but keep the car between the white lines, so we've got to be so delicate as you make your way through this next section of corners there. Really attack the curbs. The more curb you take, the less air you get, rather weirdly. So that was pretty good there as you nick that final one just to try and rotate the back of the car around. We're a tenth up on Sonoda, but as we saw in the other session, we lose about a good half a second in these final couple of corners of the lap. So let's just try and get back round to the finish line, and maybe, just maybe, we can upset Mercedes there. First time all weekend. Feel like I haven't understeered there on a qualifying run, so we'll get a nice run on the exit up towards the line. It's going to be a 26.8. We do beat a Merc. And there we go then. We make a Mercedes sandwich there. 23 thousandths of a second clear of the 7-time Formula 1 World Champion. Verstappen, though, has taken pole position, although I think he's got some grid penalties to contend with, so it might be the real Miami winner, Lando Norris, on the pole. Let's get into the race.
Florida is no stranger to world-class sport. The USA Sunshine State, now on the F1 calendar in a truly wonderful city. It's the Miami Grand Prix. With great opportunities for wheel-to-wheel battles featuring 19 corners, 3.36 miles long, and expected average speeds of 138 miles per hour, the Miami International Autodrome will be sure to create lots of chances to overtake. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he will start from pole position. Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Mr. Monaco, Hamilton, Gasly, Ricciardo, Stroll, Albon, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Joe, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Sainz, Verstappen, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Well, we line up P7 then by virtue of both Verstappen and Tsunoda. For some reason, Yuki's taking grid penalties every race he gets the chance to right now, so we're pretty happy with that. Obviously, we've got the American flag on the top of the cockpit, ready for one of the American Grand Prix. Strategy today is going to be a fairly simple one-stop. I don't really want to risk doing anything alternate or anything like that, but I think we've got good pace here, and I would love to try and cause an upset, maybe a podium, if we play our cards right. But it is 5 red lights once again here in Miami, and it's going to be lights out. Oh, and away we go. Well, not if you mean. Awful wheel spin, awful start as we make our way down towards turn 1. And now it's just about trying to recover a place or two there, as apparently maybe we'll gain one. What are the AI doing off the start? That is bizarre. I've never seen us get a run like that, as for some reason McLaren opted for both drivers to start on the hard compounded tyres, so that is a brave call by them. So Lando Norris's pole position is immediately going to escape him there, as down the inside of the second McLaren. We'll need to try and get on with it early on here. We can't afford to get stuck behind these lads, as Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez already sailing off into the distance at the front of the field. Are we going to see Lando get a run on Fernando Alonso? Never forget their love child, Fernando Norris, in this series. Oh, it's rear locking there. Down at the end of the back straight slightly. Got to be careful with these tyres on lap 1 still, as Alonso will hang on to the position. But yeah, Perez and Leclerc have got a real opportunity here to try and run away early on, because I'm not convinced the Aston Martin is going to have the pace to match them. Let's not forget, we now on paper have a quicker car than Aston Martin, so anything Alonso can do, we surely aren't going to be able to match then. He's using plenty of battery lap 1. Perez and Leclerc, you can see, they want to dispute that race lead early on, as Sergio Perez down the inside. He knows what's at stake still this season. As around the outside of Lando Norris will try and go. Oh, he just backs out of it there over the curbs. So there we go, we survived lap 1. Perez there still trying to defend from Charles Leclerc, as we've got 5 cars from 5 different teams making up the top 5 at the end of lap 1. We've got yellows out already. I think that's Esteban Ocon breaking down again. Could just see an Alpine there going a bit slow down the back straight. Don't say Ocon's out of another one. The bad luck that man is experiencing so far this season is quite profound. So there we go, purple through the middle sector. Yep, Ocon out again, as Leclerc and Perez, clearly they feel this race needs to be won on lap 1. As again, Charles Leclerc trying to look around the outside, and again, Perez is just quite happy to squeeze him up against the wall. Well, let's see if we can try and get a run then on Fernando Alonso down this back straight. The Aston Martin, not the best car in a straight line. But of course, neither is ours. There we go, up into P3 then early on here. I mean, Perez and Leclerc are just having all-out war. Let's not forget, if Sergio Perez was to win this Grand Prix and Verstappen didn't score, he would take the lead of the Drivers' World Championship, as Yuki Tsunoda, new fastest lap of the day. Oh, come on, you can't keep doing that with each other, lads. Oh, as Perez locks up as well. Come on, we got to try and... Oh, what on earth was that? Leclerc's through. Alonso's re-overtaking me. So Perez moved dangerously in the braking zone. Leclerc then got back to the outside. I locked up trying to avoid Leclerc. Perez locked up probably because he moved dangerously in the braking zone. And Leclerc did come out of it on top. They're still side by side though, as we make our way back down through the first couple of corners. I mean, this is just chaos early on. How many times have we said it so far in this game? But I guess it's good for Alonso and I, because it does allow our admittedly slightly slower cars a good chance at a fight.
Careful about where and when we use ERS. Let's try and be consistent as you use it moving forward.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to struggle with that, Mark, as another move past the Spaniards. He must really not like me right now. Well, all this battling really does help 3 drivers out in this Grand Prix. Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, because they're both on the hards, and of course Max Verstappen as well, because we know he will probably come back swinging towards the end of the afternoon. Perez again defends the inside. Leclerc, though, able to find the grip on the racing line and back into the lead of the GP he'll go. Perez, though, has the DRS, and that Red Bull is definitely quicker in a straight line. I mean, look how much they're pushing each other down towards the walls. There is no love lost between these two at the moment. They both know there is an opportunity here, as we're going to try and make it 3 wide off of the corner, down the inside of the pair of them. We're going to be on the outside for the next turn. I don't fancy being out there, as Perez once again, he'll try and hang on. There's more contact between the pair of them as they make their way through the S's. We're only on lap 7. There's still plenty of this race to go, and it already feels like there's just a huge backlog here and a lot of tension, and tempers are already beginning to flare as we'll try and get a run. 3 wide again as we head down the back straight. Leclerc's in the wall. Perez just certainly didn't spot there was 2 cars on his outside. Leclerc, though, not giving up on it. I don't know if he's got damage or not. A little bit of wheel banging with the Ferrari, but round the outside we'll go, and we are into the lead of the Miami Grand Prix, but I'm not expecting it to last for very long. It's only taken us 1 lap, and Charles Leclerc, I mean, look at the speed he's got down the back straight, around the outside. We actually had contact there with Lando Norris, who I think was trying to have a look for it, but not going to back out of the move, though, with Charlie as he jumps back out of the way. I mean, really, all you're wanting at the moment is to try and get ahead, and then build up a 1-second margin over the rest of the field, but that is much easier said than done right now. We can gain a little bit of time here. I'm happy to work with Leclerc and break away from the rest of the cars, but I just don't think it's possible. I didn't realise Lando Norris had to pit, so I reckon that contact when he went to the back of me has damaged the front wing on that McLaren. And Charles Leclerc again, I'm going to look back around my outside down this straight. Yeah, it didn't feel like much contact, but clearly it was enough. The damage model inside F1's 24 definitely seems slightly inconsistent, but Lando Norris's hopes and dreams of a Grand Prix victory are probably going to elude him here. Can we try and get a run down the inside of Charles? Not quite. Can we get a run past Charles, though, in the DRS zone? Probably. To the inside we'll go. Got plenty of speed there. That Ferrari, though, is not bad top end. Obviously, equal power units in these cars. It is believed Ferrari have the best power unit in Formula 1 right now, and especially with all the upgrades we've applied to it. As Perez now, Leclerc locked up. Leclerc must have locked up then, because he dropped down to 5th, and one mistake. One mistake will cost you a handful of places right now in this Grand Prix, and suddenly we've got Perez to contend with. I mean, there's no real point in fighting the AI down here. Sergio Perez clean around the outside. I mean, that Red Bull is just a missile. He's got the advantage over everybody else still top end, despite the fact it's not believed that Red Bull have the best power unit right now. But then, of course, we gain so much through here. We're definitely running a bit more downforce as well, though, than the AI. So any chance I want to try and break away, we've got to be able to capitalise there. Let's do a quick comparison then. You'll see how easy it was to get past Charles. You can see how much longer it takes us to get back to Sergio Perez, who will start saving the battery. Around the outside again, but Sergio will keep the nose there. Give him a little bit of a pinch, give him a little bit of a squeeze. Oh, come on. Try and put that power down. You can see the back end of the car swinging around underneath us, but we hang on. Well, we're going to try and go for a little bit of a risky manoeuvre. So we've just built up a DRS window over Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez here, which I think is about to get cut back down. See, tyres are certainly a bit struggling. So as we make our way into the pit lane then, we're going to try and undercut the rest of the runners at the moment. Obviously, I'm intrigued to see what tyre Lando Norris is on. So we've got yellows out. This might be really badly timed if we end up with a safe... Yeah, of course.
We need to form up at reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive. Okay.
How much bad luck can I get on this game? As soon as I pit, a red flag comes out, so everyone that's got the jump on me's got the jump on me. I don't even know if I could use the same set of tyres I've just pit on.
To change our strategy for the rest of the Grand Prix if we want to.
I cannot believe that. I mean, we might be starting from the top, but I don't think so. But we have suddenly got a lot of work to do in the second half of this race. No, we are 12th. 12th place for the restart. It is 5 red lights. Oh, come on, we've got to try and put the power down. And we've not done a good job of that either, so Albon's picked up a 5-second penalty. Not too sure what's happened there. As soon as that, having a look down the inside, it is Alex Albon. I mean, that's an illegal overtake if ever I've seen one. There's contact already flying in front.
Over your EOS mode, so play around with them in your MFD.
I cannot believe how badly we've been screwed over there. And Tsunoda's gonna ruin me as well. What am I meant to do? That's the second time this year off a restart Tsunoda's brake checked me on the racing line there. And a tiny bit of front wing damage. I mean, we might end up with another safety car at some point. I don't think that's the end of the world.
He's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage.
But any hopes of a second Grand Prix victory this year are completely gone.
We don't want to get a penalty.
What is that? Stroll, he gets past me and then immediately swings across me in the braking zone. I'm not going to give up on that one if you're going to drive like that, buddy. How much bad luck can I get on these games? Not losing too much time then as of yet, but I feel like as the tyres get more worn, we're going to struggle more and more. There is a huge cloud of smoke down at the final corner. Someone else must have locked up as well there.
Brings you up a place.
As Alonso, Piastri and Sergio Perez have all broken free at the front of the field. Alonso immediately locks up down at turn 1, I can see on the mini-map. But maybe we can snooker away a few points from this. There goes Yuki back around the outside, trying to work out whether he's got front wing damage, as Stroll will make it through as well, and I'm accidentally going to send it. I'm so sorry, I had to come off the brake there to try and make sure that I didn't take Yuki out. Yep, we'll get a warning for it. We'll let Stroll back by as well. That was genuinely not my intention there. I just completely missed my braking point and had to bail out of the corner. So we start lap 20 then. We're kind of in a bit of a weird spot at the moment. We're able to hang on with the cars in front for the most part by virtue of the DRS. We're pulling away from everybody behind, but I guess we basically just got to wait and see where we are with just a handful of laps to go as to whether we can really make an impact still. I just can't get over. I mean, the odds of us pitting in one lap early and someone else going for a spin at exactly the same time have got to be so low on this game. Never mind that then bring out a red flag as well. It's always the same, but I must genuinely be the unluckiest F1 player in the world. Well, Ricciardo's provided us then with a bit of a lifeline. We've broken a bit of a gap away from the front runners here, so we're going to try and see if we can make a move on Lance Stroll. Around the outside we'll go of the Aston Martin driver, as his teammates still fighting it out for the Grand Prix lead. I mean, Oscar Piastri, he might be about to make it his second win of the year, which would be quite a turnout for McLaren. Could the young Australian really be a title threat? Well, if anything today, we've got to try and prove to Ferrari just how much we can come back swinging even when the bad luck goes our way. Because I think, yeah, if we sign with the team in red, that's probably going to be a common occurrence over the course of our time racing with them. Leclerc and Ricciardo, I mean, how Ferrari have fallen off here and are battling with VCarb is quite spectacular, to be honest. Seems like, yeah, they really are struggling to match the performance of the big teams. But then again, you say that Alpine and Mercedes are seemingly locked into battle as well here, so it's all a little bit odd with the way the performance is working so far this year. Down the inside of Tsunoda. Oh, a little bit of rear locking again, but no contact was made. We get the car back under control. And back into the points we go then, with 7 laps remaining. Oh, we got yellows. We got yellows. Alonso! Fernando Alonso from battling for the lead of the Grand Prix with just a handful of laps to go. And Aston Martin, another team struggling with reliability in this series. Alonso is out of the Miami Grand Prix there. Tsunoda's definitely overtaken me under yellow flag, so I'm not quite sure how he's got away with that one. For some reason, the AI don't have to obey those rules, but we hang on to P10 then, and a heartbreak for Fernando. I mean, Leclerc and Ricciardo, they've absolutely carried me in terms of our overall race performance in the second half of this race. They've really saved me from quite an embarrassing downfall. As oh, there you go, Ricciardo has an embarrassing downfall of his own there. He's going to drop from potentials P7 all the way down to P11 then in an instant.
Managing your tyres, manage your tyres.
The other thing I'm worried about now, of course, is Ferrari might be able to break free, and there's both Red Bulls are fighting for the win. If Verstappen still wins this race, I'm going to be shocked and disappointed. I'm not sure where it's happened, or not sure how long it's been for, but Leclerc's definitely picked up damage, so we need to try and get past him here if we want to try and keep up with Tsunoda towards the end of the race. Ricciardo and Stroll are definitely losing time further behind us. There's still battles going on in front there. Oh, what is that by Yuki? That surely won't earn him any respect down at Ferrari. So he's going to lock up. Leclerc's going to claim the place anyway. We're going to end up in a Ferrari sandwich temporarily. It's all more contact with Tsunoda on the exit of the corner there. It's really just trying to make sure we hang on to our position. There's another lock-up. Russell down at turn 1. Yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The AI mistakes in this game, a little bit excessive. One more lap to go then here from Miami, and now Charles Leclerc desperate to try and hang on for a P7 finish. I don't know which Red Bull it is leading, but I would rather Perez or Piastri win this one simply just for the title fight. If Verstappen has somehow clutched this up from like P14 on the grid, then, well, fair play to him. Yeah, I mean, he's a very skilled driver, but it's nice to see when other drivers have got a chance as well here. So we're going to have to use plenty of battery down this back straight, but surely if we're in the DRS of Charles, he's not going to have much say in towards the final few corners here. Here comes Tsunoda, though, down the inside of myself. Are we going to see? Oh, he tries to lock up, but he gets away with it. And Tsunoda will move back through and into P8 then of the Grand Prix. So we really have not got much fight left. I think the front wing damage is really now starting to affect the tyres as Tsunoda... Oh, we thought about it. We thought about trying to have a look back down the inside there like we did in the sprint. But I think Yuki just able to cover us off this time round. Are we going to see Ferrari battling down into the final corner of the Grand Prix? It is Max Verstappen that wins this race after everything that went on. Oh, Yuki! What is that? You can't move. You can't move in the braking zone like that, sir. You cannot do that when someone's down the inside. I think we were a day late and $1 short anyway, to be completely honest. I think we've caused carnage in front. Hamilton's got a penalty, so not sure what he's done. But we still come P9.
They've done it then. A truly magnificent win here at the Miami International Autodrome.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They've performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Well, there we go then. 2 points from the sprint, 2 points from the Grand Prix. And I'll be honest, really gutted with that. It was just chaos all weekend, though, here from Miami. But Oscar Piastri actually did biggest point score rate in the end by coming P2 in the GP as well. There's somehow Max Verstappen from 19th on the grid takes the victory here today. So whoever said Formula 1 on this game can't be exciting. Had we not been taken out, we probably could have still had P8 there from Lewis Hamilton. No idea what he did to deserve a 10-second time penalty come the end of the GP. But Perez finishes third ahead of Russell, and Pierre Gasly picks up some big points for Alpine. Leclerc ahead of Tsunoda, Hamilton ahead of myself, and Lance Stroll will pick up the final point there. Sargent, a decent recovery to P12, beating out Hülkenberg with Alonso and Ocon, the two drivers failing to see the checkered flag. That means if we take a look at the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen a 32-point lead now at the top of the table. Leclerc still hangs on to P3 ahead of Piastri, who's now got the job on Hamilton. We are 1 point ahead of Yuki Tsunoda as Lando Norris, another weekend to forget for our fellow Brit there. Still ahead of Russell, though. There seems to be a lot of drivers that have been very inconsistent so far this campaign. Still just Hülkenberg, the Williams, and Zhou Guanyu that are yet to score a point there. Constructors-wise, Red Bull now with a 108-point lead over Ferrari. They've got exactly the same points as second and third overall in the Constructors' Championship. We're still ahead of Aston Martin, but yeah, I think Alpine are going to be a big threat as well over the course of the campaign. Thank you all so much for watching, though, nonetheless. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix from Imola. That hopefully is going to be a good track for us. We've ran well so far there on this game.